So very happy. Today we are going to work with some very interesting containers. So we got blessed, God bless you, Victoria. We got blessed with some beautiful, very interesting containers. A gentleman's wife passed away and he trusted us with some of her beautiful treasures. And honestly, I have never worked with any of these types of containers. I have worked with something similar to this pottery piece, but the others I have not. And I thought I would share these beautiful containers with you guys. So Miss Victoria is here and she will be able to go between both platforms, Facebook and YouTube. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Again, I've never done this before, so I'm excited to try these and see how everything turns out. I'm going to start out with this beautiful globe. So it is actually... it's almost like a snow globe. So it's a glass globe that you fill with water. And I'm going to show you real quick how it works. So it's got a, it's almost kind of a little silicone lid, which is actually on the very bottom of the container. And the little lid actually holds stems of flowers. So we are going to try to figure this out together. We went ahead and filled it with water. So I'm taking this this large container and I'm flipping it over just like this, and my container is filled with water. Okay, so I'm going to just set it right on top of this this glass vase, and I am going to very carefully take this little lid or base off, and you can see it has little holes in the bottom. So it actually has 6 little holes that will hold flowers, which is very interesting. Again, I've never seen a container like this, so it's really kind of fun to figure out with you guys. So I'm going to set this container right here on my desk. I thought red roses would be beautiful. And so Miss Victoria grabbed me several stems of red roses.
You have a lot of hellos.
Hello, guys. I'm so glad you are here with us. Hello, hello. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that stem and I'm just cutting it at an angle. And I'm just going to press it right into the little hole in this silicone piece. Now, the one thing is, I have to work it right down in. Yeah, it's going to work. So see how it kind of holds that rose up just like that? Quite honestly, am I gonna need more than one rose? What if I did the rose and some berries and some greenery and the rose is our centerpiece? Let's try that. Okay, so I have one rose and it's just sticking in the little hole that's right there in the silicone piece. It's almost like a frog or a little armature where you just insert the little flower right down into the hole. I'm gonna take a stem of hypericum berries. These are just pretty green hypericum berries. I'm just popping that stem really, really short. I'm leaving the foliage on because it's going to just add to my foliage. I mean, it'll just add to my arrangement. There's one berry that's dark, so I'm going to snip it off. I'm going to turn my little container. I'm going to add another little hypericum berry in there. And you'll remove any foliage or any berries that don't look pretty. Go ahead and cut those off. I'm just tucking that right in. And then let's add just a little bit of greenery to it. And I don't know how well it's going to stay.
Shirley Ann Arnett sent 100 stars.
Wow, Miss Shirley, thank you so much for the stars. Thank you so much. Okay. So it's a very, very simple arrangement. Now what I'm worried about is when I turn this upside down, is it going to fall into the water? So I hope not. Okay, so I have just taken a little bit of greenery in my rose and I've just tucked it in the little holes that are right there in this little silicone lid. Now what I'm supposed to do, that I feel like I'm supposed to do, because again I've never done this before, I am going to flip it over and insert it right into this globe. Okay, so I'm just very carefully inserting those flowers right down into this vase. Okay, and I am going to very carefully attach this lid so that when I turn it over, it's not going to waste water on my table. So I'm just taking that little silicone lid. Please don't fall out. Please don't fall out. If you talk to them, maybe they will. Maybe they'll do what you want them to. Okay, so very carefully I am. Okay, I have attached the lid. I'm going to flip the arrangement over. And my rose is just submerged in the water. So, Victoria, can you see it at all in that video? Do I need to come closer to the camera? Now, I will say I could have probably added a little more water to this container, but that is the coolest thing I have ever seen in my whole life. Do I need to step closer? Can you see it?
You can see it.
So I think we could have added a little more water to this container, and had we added a little more water, we wouldn't have quite the air bubble in there. But this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, and it just submerges him right down in the water. Now, as the water starts to get yucky, what you're going to do is flip it back over, remove the lid, freshen up the water, clean the glass globe, and fill it up with water again and resubmerge the flowers. But this has to be the most interesting container I have ever seen. Somebody's knocking, so Victoria's going to go see who it might be. But isn't that beautiful? That is so much fun. I don't know what her, yeah, okay. I was going to say, I don't know what the camera angle is. But isn't that the most wonderful container? I really wasn't sure how exactly this would work because, again, I've never done anything like this, but oh, I love it. It's fantastic. Okay, so there is that. Victoria, are those the roses?
Yes.
Okay, they're right there in the door. It's, that's it? Mm-hmm. All right, so the next container we're going to work with is this pottery container. So this is a actually I have another one just like it, so I'm going to grab it because it doesn't have the water in it. Let me grab it and show you exactly what this looks like so that you can see it.
Hey, Belle, a sweet lady had passed away, and her husband came by to give us all of her pretty little vases. So he was just donating them to us.
So this is actually a handmade pottery bowl. And what they did was, it almost looks like little straws that hold the flowers. It's, again, a frog. So it would hold, it's a little armature that holds the flowers in place. Now, what's really neat about this container, of course, it's a bowl, but the little pieces that are sticking up have little holes in them right down on the side. It's hard for you to see, but they have little holes, so the water will spill right over into those little straws, and it will continually water the flowers. Now, you'll just fill up this reservoir and keep the reservoir full, and it's just a really interesting little container. They donated us a green one and this beautiful blue. And it's made by Maggie T, I believe is what's written on the bottom. But it's really pretty pottery. So I thought that we would make an arrangement in this. So we have filled this container with fresh water. And that's why I didn't want to tilt it too much. It is filled with fresh water. So I'm just going to arrange the flowers directly in these little molded straws, I guess. So I'm going to take, Miss Victoria got me some beautiful blooms. So I'm going to grab those real quick.
The Easleys on YouTube say, just in time to catch you live. It
Yay!
makes me happy.
So glad you're here with us. Okay, so let's go with shades of pink. Victoria, so this little ranunculus is a little older, and it's just so beautiful. I hated to throw it away, so I'm just going to kind of flare it open it's not good enough to go into an arrangement. It's got some bumps and bruises, but it'll sure be pretty for us to just enjoy here. So this is a ranunculus, a beautiful pink ranunculus. So I'm taking my floral knife and I'm cutting that stem at an angle, and actually this is going to be my bottom flower, so I cut it kind of short and I'm just tucking it right into that little armature. I'm also going to take this bud, so I don't know if you can see that well, but this is just a little bud that was on that stem. I'm going to cut it also. And I don't know where he's going to go yet. I'm going to set him to the side because I'm not exactly sure. Next, I'm going to take these beautiful pale pink spray roses and we're going to tuck those in. So I'm just taking and removing some of the foliage. The wonderful part about all of these containers is they're very minimal. You don't have to have many blooms to make them beautiful, which is actually kind of nice, you know, because you can be creative and you don't have to have tons of blooms. So I'm taking my floral knife and I cut that that little rose at an angle and I just tucked him in. But you can see I kind of stair-stepped. I'm going to move this over because I'm sure it's hard to see. I just kind of stair-stepped him up. So my ranunculus, being more of a focal flower, is lower in my arrangement because visually he looks heavier because he's a bigger flower, right? And then I tucked my spray roses in. They are just a step up. And then I'm going to take these beautiful Veronica blooms and I am going to use them as the height in this arrangement. So I'm going to take my floral knife, cut that stem at an angle, and I'm going to tuck a couple of these Veronica blooms up high. So what I'm going to do, because I would like for this one to step down just a little bit, I'm just measuring it right here on my countertop, using that floral knife, cutting it at an angle, and I am just tucking that one right down in. So I have 2 stems of Veronica there. Next, what I'm going to do is add a little bit of greenery, and I'm going to tuck our bud in there. Drop those back in the vase. In a bucket. And let's use a little bit of this eucalyptus. So this is a variety of silver dollar eucalyptus, but it's a small variety. It's a sweet little foliage. I'm going to take and use my scissors, and I'm just going to cut a few stems off. Because again, these little containers really don't need many flowers. I'm going to use my floral knife and cut that at an angle. And I'm going to just tuck this greenery right in to that little armature.
Laura asks, is it an Ikebana vase?
Really, you know, I'm not sure. I don't know all the history of Ikebana. It does favor Ikebana a little bit, but I'm not sure that that's necessarily exactly what it is. But I will do a little research and we'll see.
Claudia asks, what is this for? I just got on.
Miss Claudia, these are containers. So this sweet little lady passed away, and her husband trusted us by giving us her beautiful vases that she treasured. She loved our little flower shop, and she loved receiving flowers from our flower shop. And so he brought back some of the containers, and some of them we will recycle. They're just traditional, regular, everyday flower containers that we use here. And so we recycle vases and containers all of the time. But he also brought us some beautiful treasures that we thought we would share with you. And so these are containers that I've never worked with before. And I thought, let's do a video and show them how to use some of these containers because they're really fun and pretty. And they are certainly treasures. And so we were excited to be able to use those with you guys today. So I'm just taking this little bud and I just cut him and kind of tucked him in because he's just kind of fun and interesting. All right, so there is our pottery container. And again, that is 4 whole stems of flowers. We've got 2 stems of Veronica, 1 stem of pink spray roses, and a beautiful ranunculus. And then I used just a little bit, not even a full stem, of this little eucalyptus. And so that is so pretty. So I'm going to tuck that one to the side.
Alice Allison says, this is fun. What a kind thought for that gentleman to donate
How
these
thoughtful. I mean, and how fun is that? And they truly are treasures, y'all. You should see. I mean, they're just so lovely and so pretty. The next container, look at this little container. How neat is this? So they are almost like little test tubes, but they're all glued together. So there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little bubbles, basically, and they've been glued together. I filled them all with water because I wasn't sure when they're glued together. It almost looks like the water would just pour into each vase, and it doesn't. You have to actually fill each little tiny container up. And I thought we would use mini calla lilies in this arrangement. So really, these containers, you basically use just tiny blooms, right? And so Victoria grabbed our calla lilies that we had in the cooler out. And so I thought we would just use different varieties of calla lilies in this little container. Some of these are bumped and bruised, so I'm gonna throw them away. But I thought we would take, because it really doesn't need but a tiny stem. Now these are older callas, so don't judge us. This is not going out to anyone. It's just for our little containers. So I'm just going to take these little stems and I'm just cutting them at an angle with my little floral knife, and I'm just tucking them over into each little vase. So these are different varieties. I have a yellow. This is kind of a purple color, purpley pink. This is more of a plum, just a really deep purple.
Barbara says, I love the little pottery bowl. What a clever idea.
Isn't that neat? We have a sweet little lady who comes to the flower shop every month, and she gets our bouquet of the month. She's a member of our little bouquet of the month club, and she brings in a container that's very similar. I think hers has probably 5 of those little pieces, those little inserts. So it's really kind of fun. This is called a flame colored calla. It's kind of yellow and orange. Just kind of a pretty little flame color.
Melanie Gomez says bamboo stems could be fun in that vase for height for I think the pottery.
Oh, it would be pretty, wouldn't it?
She also says, I think my shop has been donated this multi-vase as well. Was never sure what to do with it.
Isn't that kind of fun, though? That's such a fun container. All right, so I have my little callas tucked into this little vase. And you can kind of cut them as short or as long as you would like. It doesn't really matter. Next, what I'm going to do, my words won't come, I'm going to add a little bit of foliage. So you see how very simple this container is, but it really could be, I mean, you could add more flowers to it and it could be as fancy as you would like. I'm going to take some of this willow eucalyptus and I'm going to cut the stems. But you see how very simple but very pretty all of these containers are. I'm going to just strip that foliage a little bit. I got the dullest knife that I own to work with in here.
Bell's Bliss Design says, I need to find me one of those.
Isn't that neat? It's so much fun. Now she also had another one, but the reservoir wasn't very deep, so it would take filling it up, I mean, probably twice a day, to be sure that you had enough water in it. So I really like this bowl because it holds plenty of water and you don't feel like the flowers will wilt because it doesn't have enough water. So I'm just taking a little bit of eucalyptus and just tucking this right in here. And again, you can really do anything with these fun containers.
Billy on YouTube says, hi Monty and Victoria, this is the first time I have seen you guys live. I am so excited.
Yay!
I so enjoy you both and really love watching your designs.
Oh, I'm so thankful you're here. Thank you for watching. Thank you. So I think this is going to hold more callas. So I'm just going to take some more stems and I'm going to tuck more into the vases. You may have to work them in. Go in, friend.
Linda says, I remember they used to sell them at the state fair. They are good for rooting plants also.
Oh, really? I bet that would be fabulous to root plants. Never even thought about it. Again, I've never seen one, so I didn't know. But I'm just taking and adding a couple more callas, several more stems of callas.
Verna says, hi Monty, I have one like the one you are working with, and it sits down into a larger base one with vases outside of it. When filled, makes a larger arrangement. I have used mine filled with fruit skewers.
Oh, wow. I bet that's beautiful. Share a picture if you have a picture. We would love to see it. You know, it's always so fun to get containers that you've never put your hands on before because you're like, I'm not sure what I'm doing, but we're going to play with it. So look at how I've I just keep adding callas to it and how it gets bigger and bigger.
Heather Reeves says, I used to have one like this years ago, a lot larger. One of those things you get rid of then wish you still had.
I completely understand. I completely understand.
Miss Mary Lou says, so delicate and pretty.
But isn't that is so pretty. What's funny is I'm really not a calla person. Callas would not necessarily be my favorite flower. I enjoy having them because they're kind of fun to work with because you don't get them very often. But I really, really like how this turned out. It really is so pretty. Okay, so there's calla lilies, and I really just put 2 little stems per container. Now, you could use any type of flower that you would like, but you can see that it's really just very delicate and very simple. All the same type of flower all the way through, just multiple colors, which kind of makes it fun, almost like a birthday or a celebration type arrangement. But wow, I really like this container. Now keeping each little tube full might be a little hard. I guess you could just sit it right over into your sink and fill it up. But oh, I think that might be my favorite so far.
Mine too.
I don't know, they're all I really like them all, but this one might be my favorite. Okay, so we have one more. So this one reminds me a lot of, we've talked about frogs and armatures because that's kind of what all of these are. This one, and it's got water in it, so I may spill it. I don't know if you can see it, but it has little bitty holes on the top of the vase. So it's kind of like just a little round container, but it has little bitty holes, and I'm spilling the water out, but it has little holes that you can add the flowers into on top of the container. So I thought, okay, what are we going to do with this fun little container? It's kind of a creamy colored base with a little bit of a peach on top. It's very pretty, very sweet. So we got in some mini green hydrangeas. You know, I really like a hydrangea. So we got in some mini green hydrangeas. And then we have these beautiful yellow ranunculus. So they're really small little yellow ranunculus. So I thought, let's put our green hydrangeas, and again, I've never worked with this type of container before, so we're going to play with it and see how it works. So I'm going to take these little green hydrangeas, I'm going to cut them at an angle, and I'm going to drop them right down in the center of this little container. It was important that I had enough of a flower base in the center so it didn't look like all of these little spiders coming out, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I know, don't fuss at me, but I'm going to leave this greenery on this hydrangea. And I know somebody's going to say, you always tell us to take the greenery off. Yes, I do. But I really need that soft green color, and this is really going to be just for us. So I'm going to leave the greenery on. So don't fuss at me.
Philly says, wow, you saw my comment. That is so special. I feel like we are best buds.
Oh, we are best buds. We're so thankful you're here with us. We are. Thank you. And thank you for asking questions and talking and all the things. Because it sure makes it easier to arrange and to answer questions and to interact. And so we sure appreciate you so much. Okay, I am taking the greenery off. I feel it a little bit. Okay, so I just took 3 of those mini green hydrangeas and I tucked them right into that larger center hole. Okay, so honestly, that's sweet, right? It's sweet all by itself. But I thought we would take these little ranunculus, and I'm going to remove any of the foliage because it's kind of, the foliage is getting yellow. So I'm removing some of that foliage. And I'm going to tuck these little ranunculus coming out of the little holes.
Kara on YouTube says, hi, thank you for sharing all your positive learning vibes. I enjoy y'all both. Here's a funny for the day. My closed captions on YouTube text your name as Mommy.
Oh, yes.
She says, have a great life.
Thank you so much. Thank you, friend. I had someone send me a message yesterday. I am so sorry that I wrote your name as Mommy. Honey, I promise you're not bothering me. I have a strange name, so I don't mind. You can't, it doesn't bother me at all. So I am just taking these ranunculus and I'm kind of leaving them long. Now, I may change my mind. I may decide I don't know that I like those long, but I'm going to kind of play with it.
Oh my gosh. Miss Mary Lou says, Philly is my sister. I have her hooked on you, Monty.
Oh, I'm so glad. Aww.
How fun is that?
That is so fun.
Jessica on YouTube says, I normally don't get to catch a live either. I love different floral containers. That's like a flower frog on top.
Isn't that the neatest thing? This is so fun. These are wonderful treasures, aren't they? And so these flowers actually just go right down into the little holes. And so it is going to be kind of wild and hairy, but that's kind of fun, isn't it? I am also sticking, that one doesn't look so great. I think I tried to paint him to see if he would be white, and he was not. So I am taking a few of the stems and tucking them right into that hydrangea also. But then most of them are just going right into the little holes on the outside of the vase. They're just kind of right on top of the vase.
Miss Julie says, this is so fun. It makes being homesick better.
Oh, Julie, I'm sorry you're homesick.
Joe says, hi ladies, just joined. We'll have to catch up. We'll have to watch and catch up your Instagram.
Your words will not come.
I cannot talk. She's going to have to watch later and catch up.
Miss Joe, we are using some containers that were donated to us by a sweet little man. His wife collected different types of containers for many years. And so he had an overabundance of containers. And we always tell people, if you have an overabundance of containers that you need to get rid of, don't hesitate to bring them to us. We do our best to try to recycle what we can, and what we can't, we always donate to our local Goodwill here. We have a couple of different places that give back to the community, and so if there are things that we can't use here at the shop, we always donate them back. But we were so blessed with some of her beautiful treasures, and these are some containers that were very interesting and things that we honestly, I've worked with this type of container, the pottery piece, but I've never worked with the other 3, and so we were kind of excited to be able to share some of this sweet lady's treasures with you guys. So all I'm doing with these ranunculus is I'm just taking the stems and I'm cutting them. Some of them have such great buds. Look at those buds. I'm just cutting them and kind of tucking them into the little individual holes that are on the top of this vase.
Catherine. Oh, Catherine.
Our Catherine.
Says, sitting here putting off going to the grocery store. This is much more fun. Miss y'all.
Miss you, sweet girl.
Lorraine says, a bit late, but happy to be here.
Thank you, Miss Lorraine, for being here with us. So glad you're here. So I'm also tucking some of these ranunculus just right down into the grid of the hydrangeas. And that way, then the hydrangeas aren't up there just all by themselves, kind of like a little hairdo on top. And so you can see where I've just kind of tucked those little blooms all the way through. Now you could add greenery if you want to, but honestly, I love it without greenery. What do you think, Victoria?
Gaetana says, what a great idea to recycle the containers. Also, it is an homage to the previous owners. Is that how you say that, homage?
I think so. You know, I'm not. I don't.
H-O-M-A-G-E. That's what I thought. Sorry if I said that word wrong. That's what I thought.
Oh, this is my. I said the callas were my favorite, but this might be my favorite. This just might be my favorite.
Bonita says, this is giving me Ursula vibes.
Yes, yes. So wouldn't this be fantastic in all those purples? Or even if we had enough of those callas, wouldn't that be fun to do those callas and do Ursula? We really, really, really need to do a Disney theme, and I will. I've got that on my list of things to do. So I'm going to do a Disney-themed floral arrangement. So if you got any fun Disney ideas, let me know, because I think that's going to be fun. I may do that on YouTube as a, what is it, Victoria? My words won't come. We'll do like a little, what?
I'm sorry.
You're listening to somebody else.
No, I was listening to you in my ear, not you.
And not me in real life.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Where we'll do a series. We'll do a series of Disney videos. Miss Dawn Miller has sent me several ideas, but if you think of any kind of fun ideas, let me know. Oh, this ranunculus arrangement. Oh, it is so lovely. Okay, so I think I've got as much as I want in there. I think you could probably, it would be one of those things that you could just add to and add to. Of course, none of these arrangements would be necessarily for sale. We just did them more for fun. So price on this arrangement didn't necessarily matter. So that's always nice. When you don't think about price, you just keep designing until you're happy. So look how fun this little arrangement is. If you look down deep, kind of, let's see, you can see the little tiny holes right there in the front of that container. But like, I'm not sure who said it earlier, but it's just a little frog, but it's actually attached, it's actually the container. So it has the little holes that you can add the flowers to. Now, if you wanted to add greenery, you sure could. It's one of those containers that would never be the same. No arrangement would ever be the same. You would have a different arrangement every time you put flowers into this container. This might be my favorite. I don't know. They're all so pretty. But see how very simple, and really I tried to go pretty simple. I mean, it's all the same types. It's got actually 2 types of flowers in this container. It's got the mini green hydrangeas and then the beautiful yellow ranunculus. And really, these are kind of a butter yellow. They're not the brightest yellow. And ranunculus do come in a very, very bright yellow. But wow, that one's so pretty. And then look at this ranunculus. Like, look how large this guy is. He's as big as the palm of my hand. He's so pretty. I love that this is kind of a monochromatic. It's just shades of pinks, but very simple and very pretty. And then the calla lilies, well, they kind of make me happy too. But there's just, I don't know how many callas. I think there's 14 callas in this because there were 7 little vases. So there's 14 callas and just 1 stem of the eucalyptus. And then, of course, this globe, snow globe that has a rose tucked in it. Again, for this one, I would add more water, but how fancy is this? Like, this would be something so fun to receive. Again, I've never seen a container like that. So this was so fun. These are so beautiful.
Let's see. Phyllis Thornton asks, have you ever used a Pooley vase? Pooley. Pooley.
I have not. I don't even know if I've seen one. And I may have seen one and then I don't know the name of it, but I will Google it and see what it looks like. So I'm not positive.
Susan says, love them all. It's fun when it is a surprise to you too on how they will look. You
Absolutely. And I'll be honest, Susan, most arrangements are a surprise to me. I kind of have an idea of what I think I want them to look like, and then I'm like, oh, surprise, I didn't know it was going to look like that. Did we go dark?
Yeah. But they can still, you may just have to direct.
Okay. And so, are there any more questions, Victoria? I think we're just about done for these arrangements.
I don't think so. I think that's it. They like them all. They said it's hard to choose.
I know, it's hard to choose. I'm going to go and take pictures of them because I think it would be, if we have individual pictures, I think that would be nice.
Someone wants to see a close-up of the snow globe.
Of the snow globe. Okay, I'll bring it up to this camera here, Victoria.
Yeah, this one's working right
Okay,
now.
you just tell me, because I can't see it. And so they just fit right down into that little silicone lid, and I put them in upside down and then flipped it over. Again, it needs more water. We would add more water the next time, but you learn, don't you? It's so pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is fun.
That's so pretty. It is a fun container. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon. We have so much fun learning together and playing with flowers. I enjoy you all so very much. If you have any questions about how we do things here at our flower shop or the types of flowers we use or anything, we are so happy to answer those questions for you. You can either drop them in the comments below or you can send us a message and we will be happy to try to answer those. And we will be back tomorrow. I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we will make something beautiful tomorrow. And we're excited to do that with you. Do me a favor, and if you're watching this video on replay, put in the comments #replay, and if you'll sprinkle this video for me, I would really appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you